I'm Colleen White, and we're talking today about your Mozart Concerto in G major first movement. Our three focus areas for today are going to be rhythmic pulse, articulation, and style to make sure that your audition is the best prepared it can be. Rhythmic pulse is so important in this movement. And to get there, let's start with our tempo marking. There's a wide range of performance tempos in the area of about a quarter note equals 112 to 132. That being said, choose a metronome marking and a tempo that is the best for you. Your practice tempo should be significantly slower so that you can build accuracy, even playing, and musical elements. Make sure to subdivide, so even if your metronome is placed at quarter note, you are thinking about the 8th note and the 16th note all the way through. For articulation in this movement, you want to be thinking of something that is clear, crisp, and light. Align your fingers, your tongue, and the resonance. That's one that we often forget. So we talk a lot about aligning the fingers and the tongue, but if the airspeed and the air volume isn't correct to make the tube actually spin right when we're intending the notes to begin, that will affect how the articulation sounds as well. Make sure you hear each note happen before moving to the next. For that low D, adjust your air angles, both up and down, and left to right to find the sweet spot for your instrument. It shouldn't take more air for that low D. If you're still struggling, attempt to push the flute forward with your right hand just a little bit and see if that helps. This section with thirds. Raise your hand if you've spent about 1 million hours practicing this and it still doesn't work 100% of the time. It is incredibly difficult. The strategies I can suggest are manipulating the rhythm as you practice. So for instance, going long, short, long, short, long, short, long, all the way through, then reversing that. Perhaps even looking at different rhythms like triplets to really work the evenness of that pattern. Something that I see most often as a stumbling block for my students is that that section will tend to rush. So make sure you are giving each note its full duration. There are many ways to think about the style of Mozart. The most common ones I hear from students are that it sounds operatic to them, really joyful, exuberant, and light. I encourage you to listen to Mozart's other works, including his operas, his pieces for piano, and anything else you can find, even with other instruments. Remember your hierarchy of beats throughout this movement. So in your 4/4, beat 1 is the most important, beat 3 is the second most important, beat 4 leads to beat 1, and beat 2 is your weakest. Match your expressive elements like vibrato and trills to your overall sound. Speaking of trills, consider how you're going to begin and end them. So if you are looking at beginning your trills from the note above, be consistent and make sure that it doesn't take away from the time of the note. Similarly, your trill ending is going to be incredibly important. Are you doing a turn at the end? Are you simply moving on to the next note? Have that in mind ahead of time and practice it consistently. Be rhythmic, so continue counting during your trills. It's easy to lose count as these happen. Know your fingerings. So for your C trills and the C sharp trills, notated here, measures 33 and 68, you're going to use your first trill key. For the E to F sharps in the staff, measures 82 and 87, play your regular E, and then you're going to trill your right hand first finger. For the high E to F sharp in measure 90, there are many options for this one. My favorite is to play the high E regularly and then trill your left hand thumb. This will give you a pretty solid base for pitch on both notes. questions or want to discuss something in your individual playing, send me a note. Please enjoy the full exposition following.